Today with us we have Mr. Ashley Westwood, who is a former football player and a graduate from a very prestigious Manchester United academy. Along with that, he has also won the I-League twice in 3 years as a coach for Bangalore FC. And not only that, he has also managed the very prestigious ATK club and added n number of feathers in his cap. And I am very honored to introduce him to my audience today.
First question is that what triggered you to pursue your career into professional football?
I just think, obviously coming from the UK, England, a lot of young boys play football all the time, really, whether that's in the street, whether that's at school, whether that's with your siblings, your friends. And it's just a kind of a part of a way of life in England. And then obviously you get the influence from your parents. My father was a football player, not at a great level, but he played football all the time himself. And they influence you from a young age. You remember being 2-3 years of age, sat on the home sofa, watching football with your parents and whatnot. And that's what happens. It just becomes part of your culture. I think it's a cultural thing that English boys are really interested in football, and then it just snowballs from there, from your school days and from having a team that you would follow, which mine was Manchester City, and you follow the Premiership boys and you look up to them and you want to emulate them and you want to be like them.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, you get inspired looking at all these things. And now moving on to the next question, I would like to ask you, sir, that why haven't an Indian footballer able to play for the English Premier League yet? Is it because of the atmosphere, lack of coaching, or simply lack of talent, or some specific rules which is holding our players back?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of things, a huge combination of things. You look at English football players that, like I've mentioned, will start playing football in the back garden with your parents at the age of 2 and 3. By the age of 5 and 6, you're probably training 2 or 3 times a week for an hour each time, with a game on a Saturday or a Sunday, albeit maybe only 10 or 15 minutes each way. And then that accelerates up to when you're 14, 15, 16, and you're more or less playing football every single day. You'll have 2 matches a week probably. You can be enrolled in Premier League academies, and all the English boys want to be footballers. And it's about 1% of the English country that will get that opportunity. They say between 18 and 22-year-old English professional football players that have already left school become a professional. 85, 90% of those go out of the game. And that's before we even look at Indian boys. So it's that competitive in England for an English boy with such an education, facilities, for them to make it, never mind somebody from outside from India. So it's just, it's very small percentages, and it's almost impossible for English European boys to make it in the Premier League, never mind Indian boys.
And do you think that it is one of the reasons because the English grassroots system approach is different from the Indian system?
I don't think it's different. Obviously, everybody understands football and everybody knows how they want to play or how to get the training in, but the infrastructure in England is so much bigger, so much more advanced. There's many places to play. Everybody, more or less, most English boys are only situated a couple 100 meters away from a public playing field where you can go down and play on a nice surface. It's available to you all the time. And football is not always available to you in India. You have to sometimes drive maybe an hour from your house just to get onto some kind of field. So, the grassroots system, obviously, in England is a lot more advanced regards infrastructures and facilities are concerned. Obviously, we have coaches that go through the coaching badges as well. But it's just the availability in England is a lot easier, and it makes it hard in India. If you're a young boy and your parents take you down to a clay mud field and it's not very good, your first interaction or your first experience of football you may not enjoy, and you may not go back, because if you go to a nice field with nice facilities, nice footballs, 10, 12, 15 different boys playing, an organised coaching situation, you'll enjoy it and you'll want to go back. So it's just easier in Europe because of the facilities and the infrastructure.
So I think so that India should be improving on the infrastructure and approaching good coaches, and the training should be strengthened now.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that goes like anything. The more you practice, the better you become. The more competitive element you can get. Like I mentioned before, most English boys might live in a town or a village or a city even, and there's so many different teams where you can go out there and play a competitive match from the age of 5. I look at, I've got sons in England. My eldest son is 22 years of age, and he'll have played over 500 games in his life. Not that's recorded as competitive as in English Football League, but I know he's played semi-professional football. He's played probably over 100 games. He's played for his school. He's played for his local club side. He's played for an academy, and you just clock up lots and lots of games. So you're just practicing more in a competitive environment to make you learn from your mistakes.
Yes, definitely. I think so. Practice is something which makes their game better and better each and every day. And so the next question is something related to the future. But do you think that when a player is in his prime time, so he should think that what will he be doing or what will he be pursuing after his retirement, whether in the field of coaching or as a referee or media?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, with football, again, if you look at a statistic in England, an average professional league's career lifespan now in England, because if it's so highly competitive, is only 4 years. So 4 years earnings at a small level is not enough to look after you for the rest of your life. In football, you never know what's around the corner. Injury, loss of form, a better player coming along that's cheaper. So these 20-year careers are very, very minute. It's only the top level footballers that may stay in the game for 20 years. So you need to be thinking almost instantly, what am I going to do when this dream, if you like, ends, which ultimately it will. It might be 1 year, it might be 20 years if you're very lucky. And if you've not hit Premier League footballer, if you've not hit Championship standard footballer, if you let League Two, that won't be enough money to look after you for the rest of your life. So you certainly need a plan B.
Yeah, definitely. And sir, we have read about you that you have been there in the Manchester United. So how was the experience over there, starting from such a prestigious university, and what is the youth system over there?
Yeah, no, it was obviously it's a lot different now than what it was when I was there. But even going back 20, 30 years, it was highly competitive because it was Manchester United. You're one of 15 boys at your age. They do a globe, and so they do a national search, if you like, where they're looking all across the country for the best 15-year-old boys or the best 10-year-old boys, and you're in that. So you're getting the best training. Competitive element in training is very, very high, whether you're playing a year above or players of your age, and you quickly are getting good facilities and you're getting everything for you that gives you the chance to excel. I signed for Manchester United when I was 9 years of age. I was there right the way through till I was 19, which is 10 years experience. So you're just getting the best of the best, the coaching. You go all around the country playing other academies. If you're Man United, you'll play Man City, Arsenal, Tottenham, and you're playing against the best, which, when you play against the best, it brings the best out in you, and it makes you, up your standards as well.
Yeah, definitely. And do you think that an Indian player can get into this academy?
I think they will over time, but like I say, to compare, in England, you leave school at 15, 16, and you will then go full-time to a Manchester United or whatever it may be. And to compare a 15-year-old Indian boy with a 15-year-old English boy is going to be very, very tough. And now the other thing that makes it tougher is it's not just boys from England now, the Premier League academies. It's almost like a global search. They have boys from all around the world, whether it's a Portuguese, a Spanish, an African player. They have, so many scouts to try and pick the best boys. That, you see players now, you only have to look at people like Jadon Sancho was linked with Manchester United for £100 million, at the age of 18, 19. So the rewards on finding the best players are huge. So the big clubs put a lot of investment in to try and find them. So to really an Indian boy at 15 that's been brought up in India and been coached in India to go and compare against the best in the world, it's a little bit too far at the minute. Until the infrastructure improves, until India as a nation improves within Asia, India themselves haven't got really anywhere near a World Cup yet, because the standard all around the world is huge, and you have to keep improving your facilities, your coaching, your practice time, your game time, your competitive time before you can compete on that level.
Yeah, and when we talk about India, the very buzzing topic over here is that when will India qualify for the World Cup?
Well, it'll be tough. They don't do well in the Asia Cup. Never mind the World. And obviously they compete in Asia. So until you can start being a serious contender in Asia, the World Cups are one step too far. You know, the best chance of being in a World Cup is hosting it. Now, they hosted the Under-17 World Cup. You know, you obviously get a free entry if you host it. So I think, you know, updating we all know how big India is, how powerful India is, how many, you know, fantastic people are there. You know, if they could upgrade the facilities to host a World Cup, for me, that's more realistic than qualifying for one at this current time. You know, it'll be many, many years before they qualify unless they host it. Because, like I've mentioned, they don't get out the group stage in the Asia Cup. So it's a tough one.
Yeah, and so furthermore, like how is the feeling of getting promotion to the highest level of English football?
No, I mean, obviously, you have proud moments when I think the first and foremost is to become an English professional footballer, then try and spend your whole career there, which shows that you're doing something right. But to go into the top division and play in the Premier League, you know, there's 20 teams in the Premier League. There's roughly 23 players at every team. You know, you can do the maths there, 460 players, and you're in one of them from all around the country of English boys. So it's a proud moment for yourself. It's a proud moment for your family. And the secret is trying to stay there and play week in, week out, which is where the hard work begins.
Yes, definitely. And so along with it, how do you feel when you came to India, the traditions over here, the system over here, and then being a coach for Bangalore FC?
That was fantastic. I came to India with no expectation, really, just to go and try myself in a different country with different cultures, and quickly adapted to it and enjoyed it, embraced it. You know, was never standoffish with any of my players or staff. You know, embraced the culture, tried to, you know, be a good guy with the players we had, try and enjoy their company and they enjoy my company, and then obviously try and build on that and get some success. So I had fond memories in India. You know, I still travel there very frequently. You know, I do quite a lot of work for Sony TV doing the Champions League when we were allowed to travel. Now we're trying to do our best, just doing some Skype stuff online, doing the football commentary. But you know, I'm sure my Indian chapter is not finished, and you know, I'd love to be back.
Yeah, absolutely. And if we leave about the football topic, then how did the country treat you?
No, fantastic. I mean, we were winning, which helps. I think people like their team to win, and we had a lot of success at Bangalore. We were 5 minutes away from winning 3 league titles in 3 years. You know, we won 3 trophies in 3 years, which was good. And like I say, everything seems to run a lot smoother when you're winning football matches because everybody's happy.
Yeah. And my very next question is from what you mentioned, how does it feel to win the I-League twice in 3 years? How was your experience in that?
Brilliant. Enjoyed it. Was very proud. But I never really, if I'm being honest, I never look at the 2 I've won. I always look at the one I lost. And we lost that with 5 minutes to spare after going on a fantastic run. We drew a football match against Mumbai 1-1. And if it hadn't been for those last 5 minutes, we would have won 3 out of 3 and I wouldn't have lost one. So as well as I enjoyed winning, I hated losing one. You know, you can't win them all, I guess, but that's the only one I really think about, if I'm being honest.
Okay. So before moving on to the last question, I would like to ask you, sir, that you seem to be like, you're so young. So what's the secret behind your fitness and everything?
No, I just try and keep myself fit every day. You know, I'll do an hour maybe in the gym, whether that's running, whether it's, you know, rowing or some kind of cardio work. Try and eat healthy, not as healthy as I used to. As I'm getting older, I'm 44 now, and just trying to prepare myself all the time for my next coaching job. I don't want to be a coach on the sideline with a big fat belly. I want to make myself look okay. So when I'm telling the players to run, if they're looking at me and I look fairly fit, then they'll probably understand what I'm saying might help. But if I'm stood there and I'm, you know, 120 kilos and I'm saying run, they'll be saying, well, hang on a minute, you can't run, so why do I? So that's the reason why I try and keep myself fit-ish, but not as fit as I used to.
But to be very honest, sir, you look very, very good and very, very fit at this age.
Oh, we do our best. The football, they say, brings the stress on. I look at Ole Gunnar Solskjaer from Man United, and he's had a topsy-turvy time around 3 years, and I seen him 3 years ago, he looked about 17, now he looks about 40.
A piece of advice which you want to give to the budding footballers?
Just practice as much as you can. That's the best advice anyone can give you. And practice with an intensity where you're doing it to improve. You're not just going out there because you think you should, or you think I'm going to be a footballer because I want to make money. First and foremost, you're doing it because you enjoy it. and secondly, you're doing it because you want to be the best, and to be the best, you've got to put a lot of dedication in. You've got to work really hard, and you've got to apply yourselves and make sacrifices. And if you don't, you won't make it, because it's it's so intense. It's such a small margin. You've got to apply yourself correctly 100% of the time. Otherwise, you won't make it. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, absolutely. And so the last question from the audience, which has come recently, it's that do you want to share any funny incident happened on the field while playing?
I've had many while playing, probably more while I was coaching. I'm just trying to think. It's on the spot question, that funny ones on the field. I'm just trying to think. Going off the subject, I remember being a coach at Bangalore once and hearing a commotion, and I looked outside my office and there was a cow running upstairs. So that was pretty unique to have a cow come running up your office. He'd probably seen our team play and thought he could do a better job and fancied himself as getting a game. But no, playing ones. Just trying to think. I can't think. No, some of the other ones that are fairly funny might not come across too well, so I might have to sit on that one and miss it out. If one jumps into my head, I'll let you know and we can do this again.
Yeah, not a problem, sir. So anyways, it was lovely talking to you, sir. And when are you next time for India?
Well, it's just waiting on, obviously, restrictions being lifted and this COVID, obviously pandemic to calm down a little bit. I'll be working tomorrow night on Sony TV, like via Skype, just commentating on the Champions League. Some good games tomorrow. Liverpool, Ajax are playing, Inter Milan are playing, Atalanta are playing. That's obviously after the games tonight. We've got some good ones tonight with Paris Saint-Germain and Manchester United. So I look forward to watching those Champions League games over the next couple of days.
Yeah, it's pretty excited. Good days and good weekends.
Yep, football's back, so let's enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, I was planning to come to Australia only, and you're stuck there. You want to come to India, and I'm stuck in India. I want to go there. So that's the
it's a nice place here, but at the minute there's no borders open for non-residents, so it's a little bit tricky moving around. But things are calming down here. It's getting better, and hopefully soon there'll be a few countries with air bridges and business, users can travel backwards and forwards.
Yeah, surely. So thank you so much, sir. Have a nice day.
Good.
Have a nice evening, according to Australia.
That's correct.
So
cheers.
yeah, thank you.
Thanks
Bye.
a lot.
Cheers.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.